Howard, come on, sit down, man. I gotta talk to you. I have a confession to make to you, dude. I know we've been dating for 3 years. It's been great. It's been great. Really, it's been great. But unfortunately, since your last video of talking crap about the Night of the Demons from 1988, I'm afraid this relationship can't work. I mean, if you're gonna talk crap about my favorite horror film, I'm sorry, but, dude, the relationship, it's over, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Century Countess. This is your host here. In today's video, I thought I'd offer some acting tips that I learned while I did some performing on stage, as well as short films that I've done myself. You can see those on my channel. The first one, I believe, is Hair So Fair, and a few others. These are tricks of the trade that I learned from interviews from actors who kind of explained what they had to go through when they first started. So I just took those stories and I added them to my own thing, and they're probably still in use today. I do know a few of them are, and they're very helpful for those of you who are just starting to act in film or your own personal movie. So let me get started. First, let's get into costume. And here we are in our costume. The character that we're in costume is for Mr. Fancy Man. Now, the one thing, when doing acting, you gotta study your character. And normally they'll give you a sheet, like a personality sheet of what this character's like. For example, Mr. Fancy Man is always smiling. He's never angry. He's never temperamental. He, let's just say he's very diva-ish. He's also always laughing. And, as well as very flamboyant. And you have to, with that, when I portray him, I use a unique voice accent. I use certain movements. So without further ado, I will get into personality. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to the show today. This is Mr. Fancy Man, and we just had a blooper. Our first blooper for this episode. I apologize for the notifications. They're never patient for anyone. And that's basically how I do the character. Now, if you're an extra or have a non-speaking part, that is basically probably the easiest form of acting ever, because unlike the main character actors, you get a lot of help. Now, I don't know if this has changed over the generations of filming, so I'm going to show you how I learned my own form of acting when I only did non-speaking parts for characters that are just minor characters that don't have no speaking part, and you'll only see one. So here's the tricks. So a non-speaking actor, let's say we're filming in Versailles. Versailles isn't there, so it's a green screen. More about that later. So we just walk in, we talk to the next person, and there'll be an X. There'll be an X, and then you'll have the cameraman. So before filming, what you want to do is do a pre-test. Get all the information, do a quick practice if you have time. Sometimes you may not have time. So what the person will say is, the X will be on the left. Look directly at the X on the left. Follow the X. Never look at the camera. What you want to do is stare at the X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend there's an X. So what I'm looking at is a handle on a cabinet. I am not looking at the camera. And I'm pretending that there's some other actor here, and I'm going to have a quick conversation with them. So, 3, 2, 1. Louis. Tell me more. What happened? Marie gambled off the wealth again? Louie! You're going to be in a lot of trouble. Honestly, please. It's as Dewberry says, the woman is not good with her money. You really need to talk to your wife, Marie. And that's how you do it. Now, normally you will not be heard. It will just probably be mixed with a whole bunch of audience, actor, extras doing jibber. So, occasionally, if you're in the very back, you won't even have to say anything. You'll just have to mouth off words. So, you could just have a normal conversation with somebody. And all they'll hear is, something like that. It will be something like that. And like I said, all you have to do is follow the X's. And the best part are the prompters. The prompters are people who will either whisper what you need to do. They will not be heard on camera. In fact, somehow the technology of today, it will mute them so they can probably be as loud as they want. They'll be off camera, so all you have to do is listen to the prompter. These days, I think they probably have a little secret mic that will tell you what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to be a prompter at first. So, and I'm going to be the actor at the same time. Now, this is not going to be probably a good thing. So here we go. So the prompter has just asked me to open my fan, smile, look to the left, and bow. So that's what I'm going to do. And occasionally you'll get a blooper and you'll have to retake the scene. For example, my hat fell off, so they're going to have to do the entire scene all over again. Now you got to be prepared for that. You could be doing a good job and then somebody will be either picking their nose or not noticing that they are filming, and they'll be doing something really stupid like talking on their phone or doing something else. So sometimes the film has to be retaped continuously until everybody's doing the right thing at the right moment. So be prepared for multiple takes and having to redo your part over and over again, no matter how good you are. Somebody's going to probably have a little blooper here and there. It happens. Times when you have to look at the camera and you pretend that they're a person when you're talking to them. It's not very easy. I have trouble. Sometimes I'll look off in some of my films like this, or other things. So best thing to do is to study your script long and hard. Remember to maintain the character. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Dewberry, it's so good to see you. Mwah, mwah. Oh, I have missed you. Honest to say, I never thought I'd be in Versailles again. I mean, after what happened to the last dinner party, that was a disaster. So how are you and your boy toy? Oh, I'm sorry. They're throwing you out of Versailles? Oh, darling, come live with me. You don't need to be here anymore. It's nothing but drama queens, snobs, and people who lift up their head looking like they're smelling nothing but their shit. And that's basically an ad-lib there. And there we go with another blooper. So that means we have to redo the take. So here we go. Dewberry, it's so good to see you. Come here, darling. Mwah, mwah. Oh, I never thought I'd be in verse. Oh, and there we go. We got another blooper. Dewberry, it's great to see you again. Come here, darling. Mwah, mwah. Oh, I never thought I'd be in Versailles again. Thank you for inviting me. You what? They're kicking you out? They're kicking you out. So you need my help to help you move. Oh, darling, of course I'll help you move. Come now. Let's, help you move. I'll help you. And then we got another blooper and staring off. So repeat, repeat, repeat until finally you get it right, where your eyes are directly at the camera It's basically the POV of the main actor, or main character, I should say, which is a Dewberry, who's basically looking at me. So the camera is Dewberry. And then there'll be another scene where it will be possibly Dewberry's angle, and you become the camera. You become the POV of the camera, the character at least. So that's one form of acting. Going back to the X's. Now sometimes the X mark can become your enemy. For example, when you're supposed to walk towards an area. For example, let's see, on the behind the scenes of the life of Elizabeth X with Betty Davis and Errol Flynn, there's an actress who actually talks about the X, where she's supposed to approach Betty and bow, kneel and bow. However, her eyes are focused on the X. It's not towards the actress. And Betty, being the nice lady as she is, very said, "No, sweetie, it's not like that." And she explained to her, what the difference is when the X is good and when the X is bad. So what you need to do is you need to catch where the X is, and then when you're filming, look where you need to look, which could be at the actress, walk towards them, knowing exactly that you are walking towards the X. Maybe do some practice, like count how many steps you can walk to the X. Kneel down to Betty, and then when they're filming, count it in your head, kneel down to the Queen, kiss her hand, do what you gotta do in the scene, and you've got a wrap. It's a wrap. Green screen. Now that's the hardest. So example, let's say Mr. Fancy Man's in Versailles. He's come to visit Dewberry. I apologize again for the blooper. But, so we may not be able to film in Versailles, so we might have to do a whole green screen of a scene in Versailles. So, for example, you have to pretend to be in this certain area of the Great Hall of Versailles. So there you are, you're standing, you're mingling. You just got to pretend the big screen is a set. And then when they show the event in theater, and they show your scene, the green screen won't be there. In fact, it will be something like this. 1 sec.